This is Ian, founder of Lean Media Consulting. I've been an Amazon seller for more than 20 years and an independent publisher on Amazon for more than 10 years. Today I'm going to give a free Dr. Amazon review of a nonfiction book brand. Please take a moment to like the video and subscribe to my channel, and let's get started. So a publisher left a message on the Amazon Seller Central forums about limiting returns on books. But I also looked into this publisher's detail pages on Amazon, and I have a couple very focused suggestions for the publisher. I'm going to share some of them here and actually expand upon them. And you can see my responses down here. Basically, I summarized it right there. But let's take a look at the particular detail page that this publisher has, and I'm going to give a Dr. Amazon review. And basically, for those who don't know what a Dr. Amazon detail page evaluation is, it's one of my consulting services. It's basically a flat rate examination of all the elements on a detail page, kind of identifying what's working and what's not working, what can be improved, what's the low-hanging fruit, etc. And many of my clients really love this. So this is basically a freebie for the publisher, and let's get to it by looking at the detail page in question. So this publisher, these are the books that the publisher has on Amazon. This is one example. There's actually, it looks like there's about maybe a half dozen or maybe even 10 titles. Some of them are for students, some of them are for teachers, and clearly this is about flutes. It says so in the title. So basically, when I give my Dr. Amazon detail page evaluations, what I do is I look at all the elements that appear on the page. This time I'm just looking at the desktop version. If I had more time, I would do the mobile version as well, but I'm just trying to kind of give a high-level overview of what these Dr. Amazon reviews are, just so you can understand what I'm looking at. And I start basically with the title itself. So the title actually is pretty good in some respects. It clearly identifies what it's about. Flute Method, Book 1. And for anybody, any publisher who is doing nonfiction, kind of utility nonfiction, or maybe even about some sort of like regional topic or how-to, you really need to have keywords that address what the book is about. And so there's not only so your prospective readers can understand what it's about, but also so Amazon search engines can understand what it's about. So if I type in, flute instruction, I would hope that Blocky would be indexed not only for organic search results, but also for paid search results. So in that respect, the title is actually okay. It has a Blocky flute method. So this seems that this is a method for understanding how to play the flute. It's a little bit puzzling why student book and student book 1 appear twice. You don't need to repeat keywords like that. So this might be an issue that the team could address with either the Amazon Advantage or the Amazon Seller Central support team to say, like, why is this particular keyword repeated twice? So the other element that I always look at when I look at a detail page is the cover. Unfortunately, the cover, even though it clearly identifies what the title is and the title matches what the cover says, there's a lot of problems with this cover. And oftentimes for a book that's, basically a little bit long in the tooth, this is a 15-year-old book, they were published in an earlier era when the cover didn't have to be so optimized for Amazon, but nowadays they do. And one of the first things I do actually when I look at a detail page is I shrink the cover to thumbnail size. And the reason why I do this is because I want to see what it looks like when people are just kind of flashing by on their phone, or when they're looking at the carousels which might appear under another book's title. And the problem with this particular thumbnail for this book, as you can probably determine, is it's hard to read some of the text the smaller it gets. For instance, I can see Blocky flute method. However, at the very top, I don't know if you can read this anymore. Let's blow it back up to normal size. It says the award winning. That's actually really important text for the book. It's a descriptive part of the cover. It's almost impossible to read because it's white text on a light blue background. Further, it's italics and it is a serif font. So this is really something that needs to be fixed. I'm not a professional book designer, but clearly having something that's more contrast that you can see more easily, that would be like a basic part of the redesign of this particular book cover. There's a couple other things too. For instance, these notes, it's kind of artistic, but it's a little bit hard to see what it is, especially if it is shrunk to tiny size. So that might be, if I were the book designer, I would kind of consider that as well. Third edition is hard to see as well. And also just the choice of the font. These serif font, it looks like, what you might expect from a typewriter in 1992. I really would do a complete rethink of this whole cover for a couple reasons. One is to make it easier to understand, so you can see the elements of it, the award winning, for instance. The other, so it stands out. So when people are scrolling through the other titles that are related to learning how to play the flute, it will stand out. And you can see some examples right here. Like, look at this one, Pop Melodies for Flute. You can see that there's high contrast. It's easy to see kind of what it's all about. Beatles flute, this one as well. So other publishers are doing this. I can see however, some publishers, they do have some issues there. Like, this is another example of a cover that I would completely redesign. One thing I did is I looked at the kind of the top book in this category, and you can see that this is really easy to understand, even when you shrink it to kind of a small size. Essential elements for band. I would have probably flute somewhere on here, but there's a picture as well, so that conveys it. But anyways, these are some of the things that I look for when I'm looking at the cover, and there's some improvements that are certainly possible with this particular book. Turning to the other elements on this page, this is great. The author has 25 ratings, which is excellent. I say for any publisher that you need like kind of a critical mass of at least 24 ratings, and so this publisher has hit that with this particular book. Not with some of the other books, however. And of course, there are many programs that you can use, legitimate programs that you can use to get more ratings for books. NetGalley is the one that I always use through the Independent Book Publishers Association. And that's a legitimate way to get kind of reviews for your book, and and you can look into that if you'd like. The other things to take a look at on this page, it includes the author. So usually when I see a kind of a book like this, and there's the name of the author, which is great. When I click on that, I want to see like the author bio. Like, okay, the author is a concert flute player for the past 20 years with the Baltimore Symphony Orchestra, and also an up to date headshot of that author. I don't see that here. When you click on this means that the author did not create a bio. So when you click on that person's name, it shows all the books that the author has written. So I really think that is something that the author needs to take care of. If the author has a bio, usually it will appear down here in the lower left part of the screen, like a thumbnail photo plus the person's name. And I see that all the time on Amazon. I don't see it with this one because it says various, but let me find an example here. Let's take a look at Helen Winter's book. Yeah, so Helen Winter has done it. You can see that she has a picture and a name. You can follow the person. So if I click on Helen Winter's name, you can see some more information about Helen Winter. And so she has done it correctly. So I would also recommend that the author of this book create an author bio on Amazon. You can Google how to figure that out. There's basically a special place that all authors can create a bio, upload a picture, etc., etc. Okay, let's move on to the pricing of the book. I'm very happy to see that there's actually a discounted price listed. The list price is $24.95. The discount price is about 20% off. So kudos to the publisher for getting that right. That's a really important cue for publishers on Amazon, like offering a sales price from time to time. You don't have to do it, but really it can make a big important difference, particularly considering many of the books in the competing category, they're less than $20. Like this book is $14.99, and I saw another book, the previous one, which was like $12. So you do need to have a competitive price up there. And what this author has done is or the publisher has done, is created a discount, which is really, really good. The description needs work. I've looked at some of the other books by this publisher, and the publisher uses bullet points, which is great. But this wall of text approach, I think it's a big mistake. You really need to have a very clear kind of a description that also breaks up the text. Like you can see that this particular description, the publisher or the author has broken it up into different sections. It's short, it's easy to understand, whereas this is a wall of text. And people on Amazon hate reading walls of text. So that really needs to be taken care of, in my opinion. For the other images on the book, you can see that the author has included that, and that's really good. That's really important because people do want to see what's inside the book. And then you can see down here some more information about the book. So let's keep on going down and see what else is on this particular page. So the product details. So it includes the ASIN. It doesn't. I don't see an ISBN, which is interesting. I don't see a category. So the categories, I'd be really careful if I was this publisher to make sure it's in the correct category for nonfiction in Amazon, not just books, but actually something like musical instruction or flute instruction. So that should be addressed by the publishing team. Scrolling down, there's the reviews. As I said before, they're generally pretty good, so that is great, and they appear to be authentic. So that's just kind of a quick overview of some of the things that I see on this page that are working and not working. So just to summarize again, the title, it's kind of generally okay. It has flute in it. It could, maybe the subtitle could be expand more on instruction, but it also does say student book. The pricing, it's okay. I like seeing that there's a discount available there. The cover needs a lot of work. I think that's the number one thing that I would be working on if I was the publishing team. And then also the description needs work as well. It's too much text. It's not broken up. There's like a weird character right here. And then, of course, the author should also create an author bio page. So some of these things will take more time than other. One thing that I think the author could do is also to create what's called A+ content. And you can see it on this other instruction book. The publisher has created A+ content, which is basically rich content. It's pictures, so you can see this. It's some text. It's little blocks of text. So this other book, the publisher created the A+ content. It's free to do currently. And if I were the publisher of the blocky flute method, I would definitely be all over this. I would be developing good A+ content to basically showcase your book. Amazon says that if you have A+ content on your book, it basically increases the conversion rate. I think basic A+ content is like an 8% conversion. And if you do it really well, it can make a huge difference in converting browsers into buyers. So this particular publisher for this other book, flute fingering charts, they did it. It looks great. It's exactly what I would expect for a book like this. Also includes a picture of a person using the flute, and it looks like it's targeting younger students. So that is really, really good. This publishing team did it right. I would say blocky flute method, if you want to increase the conversion rate of your page, like in addition to fixing the cover, also develop, while you're talking with a graphic designer, also figure out the A+ content. There's none here right now, and that's another element that could really help the blocky flute method brand be elevated above the competition, or at least compete with the other books that are out there. So that's basically a summary of my Dr. Amazon review for this particular nonfiction title. Again, the publisher asked for help on the Seller Central forums about another issue, and I shared some of my opinions about the detail page, and I'm just expanding on it right here. If this video helped, please take a moment to like it or subscribe on YouTube. And you can see more of my videos and blog posts on leanmedia.org. If you want to find out more about the Dr. Amazon detail page evaluation, which goes much deeper than what I've just shown you, go to leanmedia.org, click on Dr. Amazon, and you can find out more information there. This is Ian signing off. Thank you so much for watching.